Hey everyone, and welcome to Cretaceous Cantina, where today we're having a look at the Mattel Jurassic World Primal Attack Sound Strike Majungasaurus. This is a brand new species for the Mattel Jurassic World line. If you watched my recent Instagram live, then you saw me unboxing these guys. I bought the whole wave from Amazon Japan. I had them on pre-order. Once they shipped, they arrived in like 3 days. It was an awesome experience, very well protected in a factory Mattel box, which was inside of another box. You can't beat it. Really excited to have this guy. And you can see that there is a sticker right there since this was from Japan. And this is also the little pull string that comes underneath the figure. So it was like brand spanking new. They hadn't even pulled the pull strings out of these guys at that point. So the packaging is really nice. It's more of the Primal Attack aesthetic, which I absolutely love. I really think it looks great for the most part. And I think that the Japanese lettering on there, the hiragana, like really like stands out. It helps it to, it just looks cool. I think that's awesome. Here at the back, basically you can see that this guy has thrashing action, it has head strike, and a couple other items available in this assortment, which we will get to reviews for those as well. And more of the Japanese writing down there at the bottom, Jurassic World Facts app, and try it before you buy it right there. All right, I'm gonna take a moment and get this critter out of the packaging. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the Majungasaurus. All right, so here's the Majungasaurus out of the packaging. And it looks cool. It's different. And that's the thing that kind of catches my eye these days. We've had so many toys in the Mattel Jurassic World toy line that if it's something different that we haven't had before, whether it's a different species or just something that looks completely different, it's going to catch my eye. And, for that reason, this really catches my eye. I mean, it's just a really weird pose. It's like really low to the ground. And it's got all these spikes and the colors. I mean, we haven't really had anything that looks like this in this line. So it does look like it fits right at home in the line, but it's still different. We haven't had a Majungasaurus in the Mattel Jurassic line. So I'm always happy to see brand new species. It's a little more exciting for me to buy them than, just a repaint of something I already have. And, when I first saw pictures of this online, I wasn't a fan. I kind of thought it looked like kind of weird, like the colors especially. And it does kind of feel a bit Crayola to me, meaning like, you have that very classic, like green color, you have the blue color and, like that, like lime-ish sort of green yellow color. I mean, it's different. I like it more in person though. I will say that I like it more in person, and it's fun. I mean, that's why we buy these things, right? Not just because, it's Jurassic World or because, it's Mattel or, whatever. It's because, we like dinosaurs. We like to have fun, and we want to add new and interesting things to our collections, right? So I like it. I like what I'm seeing. It's a little weird. Like I said, a little cartoony. It's definitely stylized, and you can see that here in the face. I mean, it's not the scariest looking thing. It looks a little goofy, but, I'm okay with it. I mean, that's kind of what you expect these days, with toys in this line, at least, some of them. The sculpt is nice. I think it has some pretty nice texturing going on here in the head and on the lower jaw. You do lose some of that though when you get to the neck and into the body. You can see the detail becomes kind of soft. And yeah, but I mean, there's still some pretty decent texturing in some spots, like right there on the sides, here in the legs. And again, I like these little spikes here at the tail, very iguana-like. I think it's pretty cool. There is kind of like a little horn here. I guess it's like a horn, right? Like tiny little horns here in the head. And you have these like green eyes. It looks good. The paint is really clean. I really like the way that the paint looks for those eyes. Like it looks like they're improving. I mean, if this is any indication of what we can get going forward as far as QC goes, I think they're going to be doing better. The Cyats, that I recently got, great QC on that too. And yeah, I mean, the way that they painted it, you can definitely see a little bit of that texturing there. There's a little bit more gloss here in the head than you have in the rest of the body. And that is very evident, here in the head area. Like I said, you basically have this very true green color. mixed in with the very true blue, and then, you know, that lime sort of color. And but here at the head, you also have like this lighter, like tannish yellow kind of color. So, you know, there's a little bit of variation there. Unfortunately, though, it just kind of stops right here. Like these lime stripes just stop, and then you lose anything other than the green sculpted color like back here. The underside looks all right. So, you know, you do have that same like yellow color, you know, that like kind of just going down to right here. It's the same color that you have here for the stripes. Again, I really like these spikes. This is definitely unique. It doesn't look like anything we've gotten in this line. And then you have more of them here on the legs. So that is pretty fun. One thing you will notice on the Majungasaurus is that the front limbs are itty bitty. I mean, look at that. They're itty bitty. It's kind of like the Carnotaurus or the T-Rex, where they're just like little itty bitty things. Look at that. Look at that. They're tiny. Yeah, I mean, I dig it. As far as the articulation is concerned, we do have a posable jaw. You can close it just like that. And it looks pretty decent. You know, it's definitely got a bit of an overbite, very tiny lower jaw by comparison, but it does open up, and you can kind of see in there, they didn't paint the top of the mouth, but there is some sculpted detail there. And then the tongue does have some sculpting on it and is painted. The teeth are relatively clean looking for the most part. There's a little bit of an issue like right there, but by and large, it is not too bad. This part right here is all integrated into the action feature as well as the tail. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. We do have insert molded joints here at these shoulders, so you can achieve all manner of movement with them, which is pretty nice. As we usually have with these Mattel Jurassic dinosaurs at the hips, you can move those out just a little bit, and then they do move forward and back. And that's going to be about it. Now, it does seem to balance pretty well. I'm not having any issues, but, you know, it does seem very forward heavy, very front heavy. So I do worry that eventually, you know, if these legs loosen up, it's just going to collapse, you know, forward, face plant into the ground. So I hope that doesn't happen. Time will tell. Now you can see they did not paint any of the claws, whether at the front or the back. So we don't have anything there. Let's go ahead and talk this action feature. So, you know, like we've seen with these sound strikes, basically, you know, you can kind of puppeteer the dinosaur, which I think is pretty fun. So the way that this one works is you can go up and down. Kind of a bit of an Indominus Rex or Indoraptor sort of sound. You can move the tail side to side. I feel like the sounds on this one, they're loud, but they do kind of end a little bit abruptly. See what I mean? They just kind of like stop, like before the roar is over or something. So, I mean, it's cool, even if some of the sounds are a little bit recycled. You know, it's still something that's pretty fun nonetheless. In terms of how the dinosaur scales up with the human figure, we'll go ahead and look at Claire here next to the Majungasaurus. And you can see she's pretty good size next to Majungasaurus. I don't know if this is, you know, the appropriate scale of a Majungasaurus compared to a human, with, you know, what that would be like in reality, but I dig what I'm seeing. In terms of the height, you're going to be looking at 4 inches to the top of the head, top of the back, from front to back, 12 inches. And the width of the figure is going to be at about 3 inches. If you're doing the Jurassic Facts app, go ahead and grab that right below. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Mattel Jurassic World Primal Attack Sound Strike Majungasaurus. Overall, you guys, this is a pretty interesting one. It may not be everybody's cup of tea. Like I was saying, I always look for different. I always look for something we haven't had before. And that's what tends to appeal to me most in terms of this Mattel Jurassic World toy line, because we've had a ton of dinosaurs. Many of them have been repainted time and time again. This is pretty fresh. This is pretty new for this line, and it offers something that we haven't yet had. The sculpting is quite decent. It's very much on par with anything you'll find in this line at this price point. There is a little bit more added detail in the head area, which I do appreciate. The coloring on it is different. It's vibrant, and it's fun. I do like the action feature a good bit, and the articulated jaw is a nice touch as well. Also, those little itty bitty hands. All right, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to comment down below. Will you be adding the Majungasaurus to your collection? Let me know what you think about these pretty radical aesthetics. Sound off in the comments. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Subscribe to the Cantina Chatter podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as the Collect Jurassic World podcast. As always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.